Hey everybody, it's Beth. Today I'm using this triangle shape I got from Temu as well as this self-adhesive pearl wrap from Dollar Tree. I started by cutting a strip of the pearls, and I also went along afterwards and just made sure to cut all the strings off. Peeled the backing off and placed it along the edge of the triangle. Did the same with the opposite side and then again the bottom. This triangle shape is 6 inches wide and 7 inches tall. After that was all placed on there, I covered the whole thing with plaster colored chalk paint, and that's by Waverly. Next, I'm taking this wooden spool. I believe I got it from Hobby Lobby. It's about 1.5 inches. I covered the outside of that with plaster colored chalk paint as well, and then hot glued it onto this 2.5-inch wood slice. And then I'm taking these wooden letters as well as a snowflake. Those are all from Amazon. And I paint those with Crimson Red chalk paint that's also by Waverly. I just use a small paintbrush to get into those small spaces of the snowflake. I then had mixed some white acrylic paint with a small amount of water. I dip a toothbrush in that and then hit the back of that with a paintbrush handle to splatter the paint on to the letters in snowflake. I then am adding some greenery around that wood slice and a few different other pieces off of a different pick, as well as a small pine cone and some red berries. I then am placing the letters vertically on the triangle. The letters are about 1 inch and the snowflake is just over 1.25 inches. Once I have the placement how I want them, I'm taking tacky glue and brushing that on the back of each of those and placing them down. And then I'm just touching up around the edges of that wooden spool because it's a tiny bit wider than the bottom of that triangle, so I don't want any of that unfinished wood to be shown. Once that's dry, I add some hot glue to the spool and place down the triangle. And that is it for this project. Thank you so much for watching.